Uh, the name you have on the case and who I am, it's two different people.
You want to smile about it and laugh about it? Take him back.
Laugh.
We'll call him out later. Take him back. You keep laughing. You laugh one more time, that's 30 days. Go contempt. Look it up. I'm not threatening you. Say one more word and that's contempt. 30 days. 30 days.
All right, everyone, today's courtroom hearing is one of the most intense we've covered in a long time. The defendant spends much of the proceeding raising sovereign citizen-style arguments, repeatedly interrupting the hearing and challenging the court's authority, which leads to a series of heated exchanges with the judge. From the very beginning, the judge makes it clear that the hearing is going to stay focused on the applicable law, no matter what arguments the defendant tries to introduce. As the case unfolds, the back and forth becomes increasingly dramatic, making this one of the more memorable courtroom moments you'll see. If you've watched hearings like this before, you already know that sovereign citizen-style arguments are generally rejected by courts, and this case is no exception. The judge methodically addresses the issues while keeping the proceedings moving despite the repeated interruptions. What do you think about the defendant's approach in this hearing? Do you think he genuinely believes the arguments he's making, or is he simply trying to disrupt the process? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy courtroom breakdowns and legal commentary like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Now, let's jump into the hearing and see how it all unfolds.
Seems to be some confusion.
What's the confusion?
I've stated multiple times on the record that I wish to represent myself.
Well, I thought we got rid of that issue last.
Yeah, I thought so too. I spoke to this gentleman right here and expressed my wish to represent myself as well.
All right. Well, if he doesn't want you, I mean, we'll figure that out in a moment. So, Mr. Styron, we're going to go through this again. What do we want to do in this case? You understand what you charged with, sir?
I understand what the charges are against me, yeah.
Okay, look, you're going to have to give me straightforward answers to my questions because I've got to make sure that you understand certain things. I got to do certain things here.
From my understanding,
you understand, first of all, that if you do be direct, you want to smile about it and laugh about it, take him back. We'll call him out later. Take him back. You keep laughing. You laugh one more time, that's 30 days. Go contempt. Look it up.
That escalated pretty quickly. I have to give Judge Simpson credit because he has a very direct approach to hearings like this. He stays focused on the legal issues, doesn't get pulled into lengthy debates, and keeps the courtroom moving even when the defendant continues raising arguments the court doesn't accept. What I've always wondered about cases like this is what the defendants actually expect the outcome to be. Sovereign citizen-style arguments have consistently been rejected by courts, yet people continue relying on them as if they'll produce a different result. It's interesting to see the confidence with which some defendants present these claims, even when the judge repeatedly explains why they don't apply. Another thing that stood out to me was the defendant's demeanor during the hearing. He seemed unusually relaxed, smiling and laughing at different points, even though the proceedings involved serious legal issues. Whether that's simply his personality or part of his courtroom strategy is hard to know from the hearing alone. I'm genuinely curious what you think. Why do you think people continue using sovereign citizen-style arguments when they rarely succeed in court? If you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments. Now, let's get back to the hearing and see what the defendant says next.
State your name.
My name is Thomas Styron. I live in man.
Mr. Styron, you are before the court. You have elected to represent yourself. I do have to advise you that you have 3 counts against you. The first count is that of fleeing and eluding 3rd degree under the Motor Vehicle Code. Do you understand the nature of that charge, sir?
This is under the assumption that you're compelling me to identify as Thomas York Styron, the legal entity on this case.
I believe that you are. Do you understand the nature of the charge, sir?
I don't understand how the name you have on the case and who I am, it's two different people.
I have a complaint, Thomas Styron II. Do you understand that that individual is charged with fleeing and eluding third degree?
So,
Do you understand the nature of that charge? You just need to answer my question.
for the record,
Take him back, and when he decides he wants to cooperate, we'll bring him back, maybe. I'm not threatening you. Say one more word, and that's 30 days. 30 days.
Well, that happened fast. The judge ended up imposing 30 days for contempt of court, and honestly, after everything we just watched, that outcome probably shouldn't come as much of a surprise. The judge gave the defendant multiple opportunities to answer straightforward questions and move the hearing forward, but instead he kept interrupting and refusing to cooperate. What really stood out to me was how patient Judge Simpson remained throughout the exchange. Even after several disruptions, he continued giving the defendant chances to respond appropriately before finally deciding enough was enough. At some point, the court has to maintain order, and that's exactly what happened here. I'm still trying to figure out what the defendant's strategy was. Did he genuinely believe this approach would help his case, or was he simply refusing to cooperate no matter the consequences? Let me know what you think his goal was in the comments, because I'm honestly curious to hear your opinions. With that said, this isn't the end of the story. The defendant returns to court once again, so let's jump back into the hearing and see what happens next.
Recalls case, People of the State of Michigan versus Thomas Styron II. Styron, you are before the court on a felony complaint that does allege count one. And I'm going to presume, since you do not want to answer the court's questions, that you understand English and understand what I'm saying. You are before the court on 3 charges. Count one is the charge of fleeing and eluding third degree. Under the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code, that is a felony punishable by up to 5 years incarceration, a $1,000 fine plus court cost, and would require the Secretary of State to suspend your license for up to 1 year upon conviction. Count two is assaulting, resisting, and obstructing a police officer. That is a felony or high court misdemeanor punishable by up to 2 years incarceration and or a $2,000 fine plus court cost. Count three is a misdemeanor offense of operating with a license suspended, denied, and or revoked. That is a misdemeanor as indicated, punishable by up to 93 days, $500 fine plus court cost. Your vehicle could be subject to immobilization. Since you refused previously to answer my acknowledgement as to whether you understand that, I will assume that you understand what you're charged with. You are also entitled to be represented by counsel at this and all subsequent proceedings. If you could not afford to hire an attorney would be provided at public expense to represent you in this matter. You are entitled, as indicated, to be represented at this proceeding, all subsequent proceedings, including your preliminary examination, and if the matter were to proceed by trial, you would be entitled to counsel. It is, as we have gone through the previous proceedings, the court's understanding that you do not wish to be represented by counsel, and that this matter will then proceed forth with you representing yourself. I have to advise you that in representing yourself, the court will make the presumption that you understand the Michigan court rules, those regarding both procedure and those regarding evidence. The court will not be providing any legal assistance to you during the course of those proceedings and will hold you to the same standards that I would hold an attorney representing or practicing before this court. So, with all of that, and with the court's understanding that you do not want to be represented by counsel, I will set this matter for its next proceeding.
you understand I'm the beneficiary, not the trustee, right?
That will be the preliminary examination. I will set the preliminary examination. Has discovery been provided to the defendant?
Your Honor, he was previously represented by the public defender. I don't know if they turned over the paperwork to him.
Does anybody from the public defender's office know whether or not the defendant has been provided discovery? Mr. Odetella. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Your Honor, we have the discovery. I have not been able to share that discovery with Mr. Styron. I tried to speak with him and go over it, but I'd be happy to turn that over to him at first available
All right, if you would either turn that over to the court officer so that they can provide that to Mr. Severn so that he has some discovery. And if you could do that today, I would appreciate it.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm setting the preliminary examination. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
The people would have their witnesses available June 11th. Set this matter for preliminary examination in person, June 11th, 2024, 9 a.m. That is before me. Defendant, as was leaving the courtroom the last time, the court did find the defendant in contempt, sentenced him to 30 days. The defendant will serve that sentence. The court will sign the judgment of sentence regarding the contempt.
I don't understand how that's possible. Like I said,
So first of all, watch your
beneficiary. You're treating me as if I'm the trustee, or I don't want to partake in any trust fraud or anything like that. Is this a Sest QV trust matter involved in this? Is my social security number attached to this at all? Go figure.
Mr. Styron, or whoever you wish to be addressed as, I'd suggest that you watch yourself because there's going to be more time coming. You keep it up. You will learn how to conduct yourself appropriately in these proceedings in this courtroom and before me. You will not in any manner whatsoever
You're trying to compel me to be somebody I'm not.
or this institution.
You have no evidence.
It will not
to prove
happen.
that I'm who you say I am.
You will not talk to me in that fashion.
In what fashion? I'm not the one being unethical.
Very good. You'll serve the 30 days. We'll see. We'll see him on the 6th. Bond continued.
What do you all think about the contempt sentence? Was 30 days an appropriate consequence, or do you think the defendant's behavior warranted something more? From my perspective, the hearing reached a point where the judge had little choice but to respond after the repeated interruptions and refusal to follow basic courtroom procedures. One thing you have to acknowledge is how committed the defendant was to his position. He stuck with his sovereign citizen-style arguments from beginning to end, even after the judge repeatedly explained why those arguments weren't applicable in court. Whether you view that as determination or simply refusing to change course, he certainly didn't back away from his approach. This hearing is a good reminder that courtroom conduct matters. Judges have the authority to maintain order during proceedings, and when someone repeatedly interrupts, refuses to cooperate, or disregards the court's instructions, contempt can become a real possibility. I also think this case highlights the importance of understanding how the legal system actually works. Courts decide cases based on established statutes, constitutional principles, and binding legal precedent, not on legal theories that have consistently been rejected by the courts. Overall, I thought Judge Simpson handled a difficult situation with patience and professionalism. He gave the defendant multiple opportunities to participate appropriately before taking further action, and throughout the hearing he stayed focused on keeping the proceedings moving. Now I'd like to hear from you. Do you think the 30-day contempt sentence was fair, or would you have handled the situation differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this courtroom breakdown, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.